If you have money sitting in a savings account right now because you're scared to invest it and not be able to touch it until you're 60, this video is for you, because a lot of women, including my former self, avoid investing because they think retirement accounts completely lock up their money. But what most people don't realize is that in some cases, you can withdraw your money, your contributions, early, and I'm going to explain exactly how on this video. So if you're new here, my name is Joshlyn and I'm a money coach that teaches women how to invest their first $100 in the stock market and grow their money with clarity, confidence, and education, okay? I am education first, strategy second. So let's get into it. One of the reasons why a lot of women stop investing or fear investing or never start investing is because they don't want their money to be locked away in these accounts. They don't want their money where they can't see it, which is why we're so obsessed with checking accounts and savings accounts and having all these large balances, And we're also afraid of the unknown. There could be emergencies that come. There can be layoffs. There can be, home repairs. They can be buying a home in the future. You want to make sure that you have your money available to use. And those are totally valid concerns. Those are all things that I considered before I started investing, Ultimately, what you're looking for is flexibility to get to your money. And I understand that. But what we don't want is too much easy access to our money. And what we don't recognize is that keeping our money in cash in these savings accounts, checking accounts, are actually working against us and not for us because of inflation. Inflation is the cost of goods and services increasing year after year. It's happening every year, whether you realize it or not. And the 2025 rate for inflation was 2.9%, which means that whatever you would have bought in 2024 was 2.9% higher. Eggs, chicken. Every time you go grocery shopping, you should recognize that things are just getting more and more expensive. And one of the great ways, the easiest ways to keep up with the rate of inflation and ensure that your money is keeping up with the value, and not losing its value, not that $1 turning to 70 cents next year, is through investing. I'm a huge fan of investing because, again, we work too hard for our money. Our money need to be working for us, and it needs to be growing as we continue to mature in age, okay? So the reality is what might feel safe today might be costing you in the long term, and I don't want that for you, which is why we need to clear up what it looks like to actually get access to our money through these investment accounts, So let's talk about what that actually looks like, what's locked up and what's not. So what can you actually withdraw? So there are two levels to an investment account. There are your contributions, which is the money that you put in there, okay? So if you have a 401k, for example, they are likely taking a portion of your money out of your overall annual income and putting it directly into a 401k. The same thing happens in other type of accounts. The money that you contribute is your money, okay? You can take that out whenever you need to. Do I recommend that? No, and I'm gonna tell you why a little bit later in this video. But let's say there's a dire need, okay? Let's say you have a medical issue. Let's say you decide to go back to school. Let's say you have a life situation. Maybe you get laid off and you need to leave on your contributions for a minute. You can do that, Do I recommend that? No, and like I said, I'll tell you a little bit later. But what you cannot do is pull from your growth. So let's say, you bought an Apple stock for $60 and now it's worth $200 in your portfolio. You can't pull out that additional growth, okay? You can only pull out the $60 that you put in. Same thing with dividends. Let's say Apple pays you dividends, maybe $10 a quarter. You cannot pull those $10 out. If you do, you will be penalized. You will be taxed. And there is a penalty tax of around 10% when it comes to things like that. So we're not pulling out our growth, the growth that's happening in the account. We're not pulling out our dividends. We can pull out our contributions. But do I recommend that? No, because if you do that, which is why I want to transition into not doing this, if you can, is that you essentially impact the growth and the dividends that you can earn. So the goal of investing is to leave your money alone and allow it to grow and compound. That's what compound interest is. It's your interest earning money on your interest. But if you take out that money too soon, you're going to be taking out what you could have been leaving in there to grow and get dividends. The more money you have in your account, the more dividends you have an opportunity to earn. The more money you have in these accounts, the more opportunity you have to earn compounding interest and truly see that $10 that you started investing with grow to 100, 200, 300, but it has to stay invested. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. I don't want you to think of investing as a savings account. It's not something you should be pulling from just to get your nails done, just to get your hair done. No, it should be money that you ideally do not need for at least 5 years. That's what I say. Again, if life you can pull out your contributions and not pay taxes on it. But ideally, you want to leave it alone for 5 years, ideally 10 years, which is why it's so important for you to start investing early. Now, if you want something that you just want to save for, maybe you're saving for something specific like a car or a house, you should be using a high yield savings account. And I have a whole video about why I love high yield savings accounts, and I'll pop that up on the screen. But yes, please do not treat this as a high yield savings account or even a certificate of deposit. Those are strictly savings accounts. Investing grows your money like nothing else can, not even a savings account, okay? Not even a high yield savings account, because historically the stock market returns an annual average of 7 to 10%, which means that if you invested $100 every single month and assumes that it returns 7%, you're going to have a lot more money. You're going to have an ending balance of 107, and then you continue to add to that, then it becomes more and more and more. So that's why I'm a huge advocate of not touching your investments. But if you must, and if you need to be reminded, baby, you can pull out your contributions tax-free, penalty-free from select accounts, okay? And if you want to learn more about accounts, then just subscribe to the channel, baby. Continue listening, because I want to highlight in a few videos the account that you can do this with. It's not in all accounts. It's only select accounts that you can do this with. So I want you to think of investing as a dollar. You know, I want you to think of each dollar that you invest today as an opportunity for you to buy back a day of you working in the future. If you don't start thinking about growing your money, investing your money now, I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you're essentially saying, I like working and I want to work until I'm 70, 80, 90. And I know a lot of y'all don't like working, okay? A lot of y'all do not like working. You complain about going to work every single day, and I hate that for you, okay? But if you have been sitting and thinking and knowing and researching and reading how to start investing, but you don't know where to start, then you are in good luck, because I am hosting the Invest Your First $100 live workshop. This is my second workshop. I did it in January of this year, and I'm doing it again because a lot of women, as I mentioned, have money sitting in your savings account, sitting in cash, because you don't feel confident enough to invest. And that is literally why I created this workshop, because I have been there. When I started, I was so overwhelmed. I said, where do I start? What do I invest in? What makes a good investment? How am I going to get taxed? Like, I had all these questions, and I just kept researching, and I just needed a clear starting point. You know, I didn't need information overload. I needed to know, this is what you should invest in. This is why. This is how it impacts you. This is how it makes money. And that's what we talk about in the workshop. Welcome to the Invest Your First $100 live workshop. And of course, we'll get a chance to get to know each other a little bit too before we really dive in. So I want to just remind everybody that I'm working towards that, but I think for all beginners and people that are new, like, you should really lean into tax-friendly, non-taxable accounts. So 401ks, 403bs, 457s, these are the most common company-sponsored, government-sponsored retirement accounts. I love them because they allow you to essentially get a match. Everybody does not offer a match, but, let's say your company offers a 50%, they'll contribute 50% of whatever you put in there, So if you put $100 in there and they match you up to 50%, then that's $50. And again, I think a lot of times people feel like they don't have access to that money once they leave that company, and you do. Like, I'm in the process right now of rolling over an old 401k from my last job to Fidelity, which is where the rest of my accounts are, so that I have control over it. And I can pay, less fees because I no longer work for that company. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of these because your money can grow without being taxed. So any growth that's happening, any contributions you make to it, like, it's not going to show up anywhere. You don't have to pay for that growth, any of those contributions. Same thing with IRAs. We're going to use our IRA today. There's two types. There's a Roth IRA, which is for people who make less than $150,000, and it's tax friendly. So any kind of growth that's happening, any withdrawals after a certain age, which is 59 and a half, like, it's all tax-free money. You can pull it out and not pay taxes on it, versus a traditional IRA, which is for people who make more than 150. They do get a tax. Invest matters. So this is kind of what we'll go over today. And of course, I'll show you my portfolio. I'll walk you through why I invested and what I invested in. Market returns 7 to 10% in growth every single year. Does that mean it's going to return that every single year? No. Will it return more some years? Yes. What you invest in matters. So it gives you access into multiple companies. So normally you'll hear people say, oh, I own all these Apple stocks, all these Amazon stocks. Great for you. However, if Apple has as a beginner, the best thing that I decided was to go this ETF route, because again, I like my money in different places working for me. I can't go all in on one company. That's too close to just having one income. No, we want multiple streams of income. So they also have lower costs than mutual funds, and mutual funds are essentially peace of mind. It'll just let you know that, like, even if there is a bad day, some companies can do really well and it can help balance your money and balance your portfolio, which is ultimately what we want. Okay, let's see. Where did the comment go? For the most part, you shouldn't be paying anything outside of the expense ratio to own an ETF. So I think this last bonus is capital gains. And so I think a lot of people think of capital gains and they think of real estate, because I feel like the $2 manually, and now I'll be able to manually purchase the index fund. Yeah, it's not a requirement. So similar to ETFs, same types of index funds exist. We know what a broad market is, essentially same thing as an index ETF, sector, bond. They have a lot more international index funds than they do ETFs. I actually have, all right, let's go through my, let me try this one. Yes, one at a time. One at a time. REITs ain't going nowhere. But yeah, REITs are good. I'm a huge fan. You're a heavy login now. That is in your portfolio. So I know FCROX and FCILX is the most, but all of that is this for a little bit. I think I am too still interested in knowing more about brokerage accounts too, and the benefits of that. Okay. Reaching out, as well as I think for me the goal is consistency, right? So figuring out how this can be a consistent lifestyle versus just a one-off. Yes. Is a clear starting point for the women who know they should be investing, or maybe you dibbled and dabbled in investing a little bit already, but you don't feel like you have a real strategy. You will get that if you join me on Saturday, March 28th for Invest Your First $100 workshop. So the link is in the description. Please grab your seat. The doors do close on March 23rd, so you do not have a lot of time. And I want you there if you are serious about putting your money to work and growing it, but don't need more information. You need action. You need actionable steps. And the great thing about my workshop is that we invest together in real time. Now, I don't have access to your accounts. Your $100 is your $100, but I can walk you through what options you have to invest in, how they impact you, how they make money, and why it matters to you in the long run. So again, that is linked in the description. Let's talk, baby, more action. You cannot be a spectator when it comes to investing in the stock market. You have to do it. Just like you've learned a skill on your job, you've learned how to be a parent, you've learned how to be a wife. Same thing with investing, baby. I know that you're smart. I know that you're capable. A lot of the women that I serve are. They just need a little hand holding when it comes to something like investing. And that's why I'm here as your money coach and your money bestie, okay? So again, that is linked in the description. So yeah, that is essentially what you can do from a contributions perspective. Now, this is only for a few type of accounts. It is not for your 401ks, not for your 403bs. You cannot live on that, okay? But you can live on it when it comes to your Roth IRAs, your traditional IRAs, your brokerage accounts. You don't have to be taxed on those. And so that's something I want to debunk. But the account matters, what you invest in matters, and why you invest matters. And so if you are someone who's like, okay, now I know that I don't have to lock my money away forever, you know, the next belief buster that I want to highlight is that women see investing as complicated and risky, you know, and in the next video, I'm going to show you a beginner-friendly investment option that's low cost, that's diversified, and designed to reduce your risk. Because in this economy, baby, we don't have no money to lose, okay? So click here, somewhere on the screen, the video will pop up, and I'll walk you through what that beginner-friendly investment looks like in real time on the next video. See you there.